I'm Lyndsey Smith with Realagriculture.com, joined today by
Kelvin Hepner, also Realag.com.
Woo! Okay, and we are at CropConnect. We're wrapping it up. It is the most beautiful, sunshiny, minus 30 day.
Yes, so if you can't see our eyes, they're actually squinting because it's very shiny outside. The shiny index is very high.
The shiny index is really high, but it's lovely and it's wonderful. Yes. And because we're inside and taking in the sun. Okay, so amazing 2 days in Winnipeg here, an incredibly packed agenda. We also found a lot of controversy, mostly around something you may not guess.
I've heard about it before. I didn't realize it was such a controversial topic, but grain drying.
Yes.
There were several speakers here. Ron Palmer, formerly of University of Regina, I believe, and then also Ken Hellevang up from North Dakota State University.
Yes.
Both with very, well...
Let's call them opposing.
Yeah, pretty opposing views.
Yes.
At least from I don't have a deep understanding of the science behind it, but from what I heard, one saying warm air dries grain, one saying cool air dries grain. So,
right.
Yeah, I think some growers were confused about that. So something that we definitely can
and there will be
discuss in the future.
Yeah, there will be interviews to sort of elaborate on some of this. Of course, last night you had the honor of emceeing the banquet, second year in a row, actually. 100% of the banquets at CropConnect have been hosted by Kelvin Hepner. And we had Colin Mockery and his wife, Deborah McGrath.
And they were very funny.
Oh my gosh, so fantastic. And I said to Deborah, our colleague, that wouldn't it be great to tour around with your spouse and go and do this as a job? Anyway, there are pros and cons to it.
But how fast they think, I know, of course, everybody's seen Colin Mockery on Whose Line Is It Anyway? Yeah. And this hour is 22 minutes, but how quickly their brains come up with some of those jokes. They think so quickly on their feet and the pressure.
They have to recover really quickly. So, right, they played the where you fill in the line, and so they're improvising a scene and they have to use what people in the audience have written on that, which I particularly like the Maple Leafs win the cup. Was that you? Did you write that one? I thought for a second, I was like, did they put that on Kelvin's table? That's not even
That's actually the one I entered.
I knew it.
Yeah.
And then they had to work that in.
Delusional. I think Deb McGrath said something about this farmer who made this comment must have been delusional about the Leafs winning the cup.
That's where you tip your hat.
Yeah, I did not clap my hands when she said that.
Hey, that's mean. Anyway, so now what else has gone on? It's been busy and huge. Yeah. They have over the 2 days something like 700 people.
Yeah, and the Victoria Inn, where CropConnect has been held the last 2 years, saw a major expansion this year. So it's quite a bit.
The new part. Actually.
Yeah,
that's
quite a bit bigger.
So
quite a bit bigger than last year. So the trade show space is bigger. They had a different main speaker room, I think.
Yes. Well, the Farmer Saloon was twice as big.
Farmer Saloon, yes.
Yes, that we hosted yesterday had 2 bars.
Yes.
And
that was fun
4
too.
screens. That was super fun. It was
meeting up with some of our Twitter friends as well in person.
Yeah, it was sort of a tweet out. Sort of not, but sort of was. So that was good.
Unofficial.
I, of course, got to sneak into anything to do with agronomy, which was fantastic. It's very easy.
Those are the sessions that we gave to you, yes.
Yeah, it's how we split up. Hey, Kelvin, which one do you want to do?
I'll take the marketing or policy.
And I'll do the agronomy. So I actually sat in on a really great chat on diseases of sunflowers and really interesting stuff and lots of great visuals, so look for that. I did that one as well. But one of the biggest stories here probably is the coffee.
The coffee? To everybody or to you?
Okay, to me. Let's say it's better than last year, maybe, slightly, but I don't know. I don't know if they burn it on purpose or if that's just...
I was pretty sure at lunch today that there was a bit of a vanilla flavor.
I think it's
whether it was just to cover up maybe, but it was definitely sweeter coffee, and maybe they're trying to cover up something.
Right, so Leanne Campbell with the Manitoba Canola Growers, which she made it into last year's wrap-up too. She's everywhere. Anyway, she actually had an idea that maybe we should have like in Western Canada, as we go to these conferences, we could rate the coffee and have a map and have a ratemycoffee.com. And you could say like which
Farm Show Coffee.
Farm Show Coffee. Yes. Like I bet, Friedensfeld Hall has like top-notch coffee. I'm sure of it. Somebody verify this, please, and add that point to the map. Yeah, probably. So anyway. Okay, so what else has been good?
We heard from Drew Lerner.
Of course we did.
He's been doing the circuit in Western Canada this winter and talking a bit about maybe a drier summer, at least for the eastern side of the prairies.
Here's a shocker, though. He's actually changed his story slightly since the beginning of January.
Okay.
Still going dry rise, yes.
Yeah.
But people at our table, and so I find this sort of funny because he forecasts weather. Of course he's going to change his mind. But somebody at the table was saying, oh, he was really sure on this and now he's waning. And I thought, he's a weather guy.
Yeah.
That's what you're allowed to do. But yeah, so now good news though for parts of the prairies.
Yes, especially for southeastern Saskatchewan and some of those areas that have been so wet the last couple of years.
Yeah, it looks like they should have, although, and this is one of the things he said at lunch, through all the confusing maps. If you follow on Twitter, there was a lot of discussion about, I think I'm more confused about weather than, anyway.
Yes.
But he did say that, there's all these correlations that they try to go back and try to figure out, and they were lining up until like early January, they were lining up perfectly for a very dry, drought type conditions. And now they're starting to tick over a little bit to say drier bias, but maybe not as severe. So it might actually end up being much better news.
Yeah, or maybe Drew is just hedging his position, and he's pretty upfront about not being too certain. So that's one of the things that we appreciate, I think, about Drew is that he knows it's not an exact.
It's not exact.
He's not faking that he knows everything.
Yes, so, exactly. Yeah. And although he did, and we can go back to this. We had interviewed him in I think it was late April, and he did warn of the potential for, of course he calls them freezes, but a frost in the first week of June, and I think that was 2 years ago, and it was 6 weeks out, and sure enough, we had one night that got very cold, so sometimes he's scarily accurate. So anyway, but always interesting. So so our controversy, of course, grain drying and weather.
Grain drying and weather, two of the things, yes.
Yeah, and of course, we're wrapping up the day. All the AGMs are not done, but we will be sort of recapping. There was actually
some controversy at the canola growers meeting this earlier today as well.
We'll see where that goes. We'll be reporting on that. There were some interesting resolutions passed on getting into canola breeding. So we'll get you up to date on that one. And of course, the Manitoba wheat and barley growers having their first AGM here.
Yes, and as I actually see one of the potential directors walking by behind the camera. There's John Freund.
Do you want to jump in here? No? Okay.
Getting ready for their first AGM, as they are going to be electing their first and holding their first election a bit later this afternoon. So.
Yeah, so we will be reporting on that as well, as always.
I think that sums it up. It's been a good conference again.
It's been fantastic.
Lots of information.
The trade show's been huge. I've actually, lots of comments about just who's all here, lots of people. Hard to find water, but hey, whatever.
Dry hotel air.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, actually, I find it sort of nice. A nice
compared to Ottawa?
From the damp and all the snow and all that. So it's been lovely. But no, great show once again, and we've got tons of coverage. So stay tuned.